almost the end of April, and that means the year is almost a third of the way through. And as luck would have it, I have basically this whole week off work, jobs, having to really go anywhere or do anything. And I'm a little behind on my goals. So I figured I would check in with all of you lovely folks and see, did you set any goals this year in January? And B, how are you doing on your goals? Have you given up on your goals? Because it's not too late to get back on the path. Even if you've been slacking, you can definitely get back on the path. And this episode is brought to you by Cherry Zevia. Cherry Cola Zevia, sorry. I don't know if there's a cherry Zevia, but this one's pretty good. I'm trying to get back on the path in general with like diet and exercise and all that. So I was doing those space cokes and they were amazing, and I was doing some root beer zeros and those were amazing. But I'm like, I could tell that even diet soda, just my body doesn't like it. And it's like, I think when you get off of that stuff, you know, I think your body changes a little bit, and then you can start to kind of be like, oh, okay, that those things definitely weren't good for me. Because like now, I think like the last time I had an energy drink was like 2 months ago now, but I like went 2 weeks and then I had one, and I remember my heart was racing really fast, and I was like, this feels gross. Like but that was like my norm. I used to drink like 2-3 of those a day. So yeah, if I had one right now, I don't think I could drink more than like half of one. But I mean, maybe your body adapts to it, and maybe that's why you notice it more. But it's probably not. It's probably a sign that that's not good for you. You don't want to do that. So Zevia has been my saving grace, something to drink. I also like those things you can add to water. I just get the ones, they're like Crystal Light ones. I just get the no-name grocery store brand ones, and they do pretty good. But I do find myself oftentimes craving the energy drinks still. That they have a flavor that you really don't get anywhere else, which is apparently just chemicals. So anyway, let's talk about some goals. So at the beginning of the year, I set out to do 10 things. Practice off-ice hockey skills for 100 hours, ride 1,000 miles on bikes, fast for 4,000 hours, read 50 books, pay down my debt, contribute $6,000 to my IRA, go take Bear to the park 50 times. I don't know, that's 5, not 50, that is 0 there. Watch 365 films, create 500 pieces of content, and I had one that was complete 12 woodworking projects, and I'm starting to come to the thought process that I need to change that one out, because so far I've got a goose egg there, but I'm realizing that like I don't really have space to do woodworking properly. Like I have a garage, but the garage is almost completely full with like hockey stuff and workout stuff that I don't have anywhere I could set up even a small bench. And so I've seen some like foldable ones, and I'm like, okay, that might be good, but I'm thinking about changing that goal to something different. And I have a couple options. Let's see here. Let me get my notebooks. I love these fucking legal pads. These are my favorite thing. I have so many of them. Okay, so here's the possible alternatives I've come up with. Ice time, getting on the ice for hockey. The problem with that one is like, with the last couple of years, I keep getting hurt, and it's like, okay, if I get hurt, then I have to be off the ice for 6 weeks. You know, it's like, okay, that's gonna make that one a hard one to do, because you can't control all of it. Echo bike rides. I got a Rogue Echo bike, and I fucking love it. It's down in the garage. You can't not get a good workout on that thing. Like, even if you're like, I'm just gonna cruise, like your heart rate just goes, like you can't not have your heart rate be at like 130, like and you're just like barely going. So that might be a good one. And the good thing about that one is I've also been logging my Echo bike rides, So I can backdate them a little bit and be like, okay, I've already got like 10 or whatever that I've got logged. Feats of strength, and so like these are things that I like came up with, things that I want to be able to do. So like do like a full pull up, which is hard because I'm a very big dude and I have very weak arms, but I would like to have stronger arms. So on the Echo bike, there's something called the 50 calorie challenge where you try to burn 50 calories according to the bike. The key there is that there's no like data entry for the bike, so your age, your weight, whatever, it calculates calories the same for everybody, which is kind of a bad system, but it does give you like a benchmark that it's equal for everybody. And so the challenge is to get 50 calories as fast as possible. The winners of this year's challenge did it like under 30 seconds. So I'm like, if I could do it in a minute, that'd be great. Right now it takes me about 3 minutes. For comparison's sake, so those people that are blasting it in 30 seconds, I'm like, I don't know how. Because like if I go full out as hard as I can get 25 calories in about 30 seconds. But then I just like, I hit a wall and I like can't push that hard afterwards. Doing an overhead press with a 70-pound kettlebell, which is something I've done before with my right hand when I was really into kettlebells. Complete a 10,000 swing challenge, which is doing 10,000 kettlebell swings with the 24 kilogram or 53 pound kilogram, 10,000 of them in 1 month. You have 30 days to do it. The Secret Service snatch test, which is something you would have to work up to. I believe it's 200 snatches in 5 or 10 minutes or something insane like that. And again, with the 53 pound kettlebell. And then the last one I have on there is a century ride, which is riding 100 miles. But I'm going to just say a century ride within the confines of a day, with a 24-hour period, ride 100 miles, as opposed to just like get on a bike and go for 100 miles, because I don't know if that's a smart thing to do, but I think I could do 100 miles in a day if I broke it up, took a lot of breaks. But who knows, maybe I'm putting more. So then some things, so that's only what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's 6. 6 is still pretty good because these are all things that'll take time to get to. But then I'm also like probably going to be completing most of them at the very end of the year. That makes me a little nervous. So I wanted to put maybe some other things in there, like find a therapist, like go to the dentist, because I haven't been to the dentist in years, because the dentist fucking terrifies me. That's like my big I can't do that. I think I might have told this story before, but the short version is I got a wisdom tooth out and it like cracked, and just that sound is like something you can't unhear. So just the dentist is just there's no part of the dentist I like every part of it. Like the scheduling always is like way far out. Like it costs a lot of money. Like it's always expensive. And it's physical pain. So it's like the anxiety of mental pain of like having to wait a month to get in. It's the fucking financial pain of paying hundreds or thousands of dollars to get shit fixed, and it hurts the whole time it happens. So like no part of the dentist is a pleasant experience, and my body, my brain is very like avoidant for things like that. So that would be a big feat of strength for me to go to the fucking dentist and probably get down on the path of fixing what's wrong with my teeth, which I'm sure there's things wrong with my teeth. They don't hurt, but like I guarantee you there's cavities in there, and there's one more wisdom tooth that needs to come out. But like after the last one, I don't fucking want to go. So maybe I need to find one of those dentists that was thinking 260 of them because there's 260 working days in 2022. A good number of them have been eaten up, but there's still 260-ish days left in a year, so I'm still just one a day at that pace, which doesn't seem that hard to do. Because I even thought about what would be fun, like hand lettering word of the day is just to write, doodle, whatever you want to call it, sketch, the wordle of the day, whatever the word is, to sketch that as a hand lettering thing. Similarly, I've also thought about doing atomic essays, which are just like short essays. I think there's like a limit, but it's like a couple, like 1 or 2 paragraphs, slightly longer than a tweet, but like not longer than a tweet thread. So maybe I could just include that, and so it's like hand lettering words, doing atomic visuals, doing atomic essays, and doing 260 of them. Because then it's working on my writing skill, which is something I used to do a lot of, and I felt like I was always pretty good at it. And then working on hand lettering, which is just something I've always been interested in, and then visuals, which I think could be just like a fun little hobby thing. And then I've got woodworking still on the list. The question is like, what do I build? And I came up with a couple, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 things. But I need to come up with 12 things that wouldn't be hard to build and like build on skills to like get to a point where like, okay, but also need to be able to be built in a very small shop, basically in a parking lot with a handful of power tools, because that's really all I've got space for. And I'm leaning against that one just because like I've already have a hard time like fitting all my stuff in our space, and just building more stuff is just, I'm gonna want to hold on to that stuff. It's gonna have some sentimental value, so I'm leaning against woodworking. Then I've got marathons, not in the traditional sense of running, but in the sense of people do marathons with kettlebells and clubs where they just set a timer for 30 or 60 minutes and they just go without setting the implement down. And I'm like, getting a couple of those in could be fun and challenging, but that could also go into feats of strength. So, I guess that actually does make more sense in a feat of strength. So you could do like a marathon, kettlebell or club. So that's good. That's half the reason I like making these videos is it's just thinking out loud. It's building in public, and it helps clarify my thoughts. So thank you for you who watch, and especially like the handful of you that give me feedback and say, good video. Like, it makes me feel good. And hopefully this is helping you relax, helping you. Hopefully you get something out of this too. Then I was thinking photos taken. That's something I've done in the past is calculate the photos, and I still have most of the photos I've taken this year, so I'd have stats on that, so I can backdate that. And then lastly, I thought about music listened to, because that was an old goal like a long time ago. Like 1 year I wanted to try to listen to 100,000 songs, and I did like 72,000 or something insane like that, and I tracked it with audio scrobbler. It's called Last FM now. And I'm, the last couple of years it's been like 9 to 10,000 ish. So I'm like, okay, that could be fun. Try to listen to new music, more new albums. Not necessarily new as in they just came out, but new to me, stuff I haven't heard before, and kind of broaden those horizons. Because when you listen to music, like, the big thing about this goal is I want it to be out of screen time. I want to spend less time consuming passively and more time actively creating things. So music doesn't seem like a good choice, but the thing about music is screenless to a degree. And so when you're listening to music, like you really are not watching TV if you're listening to music. You listen to music when you work out, or when you build shit, or when you go for walks with your dog, or when you just like on the ground kind of meditate. It's meditative to a degree, as much as I can really wrap my head around relaxation. Music, listening to music kind of fills that role. So that's one that I thought might be a good one. I will see. I don't know. But so that all said, there's the update on how I'm doing, and the answer is not great. So the year is 31%, 31.8%, 32% of the year is passed. 100 hours of off-ice skill practice. So that's 6,000 minutes. I'm at 740 minutes, which is a progress at 12% out of 32%. So, excuse me, down about 20%. Ride 1,000 miles on bikes. I got 400. I just racked 400 I hit 400 today, which puts me at 40%, which means I'm killing that goal. Up 8%. Let's see, fast for 4,000 hours, and I'm saying it must be at least 12, which a true fast would probably be more like 14 to 16 as a basis, but 12 is still a pretty, because I have a really bad habit of late night snacking. So that I'm at 899 hours, which puts me at 22%, so a little behind on that one, about 10% behind where I should be. Read 50 books. I've read 6 so far, which puts me again at 12%. So another, 20% down. Pay down my debt. I set the goal to be, I think the goal was like 17,000 worth of my debt. Because I got a little bit, because I got real spendy during COVID. Because I got sad. Because I was almost out of debt, and then COVID happened, and it's not that I needed the money, like I needed to put stuff on credit cards, like I wasn't putting food or rent or anything like that. Like, I know some people were, and fuck, I can only imagine, but I was just sad for staying home, so I was buying shit, trying to fill voids. Anyway, I've paid off about $5,000 of that debt, which puts me at 27%, so we're close to par, about 5% off there, which I usually pay at the first of the month, so it will probably catch back up and get right around par here at the end of the month. Let's see, contribute 6,000 to the IRA. I've contributed 1,500, which is right at a quarter, 25%, so that's pretty good. But then I paid taxes this month, and I had owed like $6,000 or $7,000 in taxes or something like that. So, yeah, that probably won't get contributed to for a bit. Park adventures. It's been kind of cold and shitty here in Nebraska, so we've only done 5 of them so far, which puts me at 10%, so way behind on that goal too. Watch 365 films. I got 64 in. That's not terrible. It's 17%, about halfway to where it needs to be. And then finally, 500 pieces of content. This will be number 50, which puts me at 10%, so again, way behind. But it's warming up, so I am going to get the dog out to more park adventures. Hopefully you get some book reading in. I got this one I'm working on right now, Hardstyle Kettlebell Challenge by Mr. Dan John. It's not that long, but it is, if you want to learn about kettlebells, this is a very good one. This is a very good one to tap onto. But this one is, for how thin it is, it's got a lot of really good information. So, highly recommend. Dan John's a great guy. He's got a podcast, and he's just like this super wholesome, awesome dude. Me and my girlfriend call him Grandpa Strength. He's very much, if he was more popular, he would be like in the hall with like Mr. Rogers and fucking Crocodile Hunter, Steve Irwin, Bob Ross. He'd be up there. He'd be like the Bob Ross of strength training. This guy is fucking great. And he knows his shit. It's good. If you need stuff about kettlebells, go look up Dan John's YouTube. There's tons of good free stuff on his YouTube. Anyway, so get that. I probably should be able to finish this in the next day or two, because I'm about, halfway done, give or take. Then start on some other books, and yeah, could get the 50 pieces of content up to where it needs to be at 150 or whatever. Obviously, that's not going to happen in the next month. But maybe it will. That's only 3 videos a day. That's so many. Then hopefully the money will come with it, and I could use that to pay off my debt and fund my IRA. That'd be great. Because there's a couple things I want to buy this year still. I need a new computer. So that's the next thing. Once I have a couple paychecks coming in from some jobs I did this last month. Once those hit, I'm straight buying a computer. It's gonna be a real nice one. Because hopefully it will last. Because I bought this guy in 2014, and it was top of the line in 2014. I think I paid $1,200 to have someone custom build it for me. And the one I'm looking at now is like $3,200. So I'm like, fuck, computers got way more expensive. But it's how I make money, and it's like, okay, this has lived 8 years almost now, and it still has life, because it'll probably just become like a media box. And so for $1,400, that's a really good fucking return on investment. So $3,200, still a great return on investment when you factor in, if I make like $60,000 a year, and most of that money has to touch a computer to get paid. It pays for itself in a month. If you think about it like that. I also want to get I have a Canon R6 for stills. I'm going to get a second one, and maybe even a third one would be awesome. Because my girlfriend's getting into photography, and I really like having her on shoots, bringing her along. And so that way, if I had at least 2, that way I could give her one of the R6s, because the R6, I'm looking at some photos that I did I had my Mark IV and my R6, and the R6 is just so much better. That like, even if you know anything about cameras, like some of the photos are like ISO 4000, they look better than the Mark IV's like ISO 1200. So if I could get another one of those, that'd be great. If I could get a third one so girlfriend could have one, even better. But I'd have to do a lot more event work to get that, and while event work is coming back very hard, to justify having 3 of those cameras, they're not that expensive. I think they're $2,500 each. So a second one almost assuredly will happen. The third one, dealer's still out. We'll see if I have a good year again. Or if I make some strange stock market money like I did last year with the GameStop stuff. Then yeah, I'll probably get another one. But I need to get the debt down. I need to get the income up, so that way I can buy a house. Because I looked at a house calculator, and there's something called like your debt to income ratio, which is like how much do you pay in debt versus how much you make. And my debt to income ratio was like, because you have to factor in your rent or whatever your mortgage would be, I guess. And so with like a standard mortgage, with whatever Zillow says, my mortgage would be looking at houses. Granted, this would depend on how much I put down. Like my debt to income is like, oh boy, what was it? Like 40% or something like that. And I guess they want 35 or under, I think, something like that. So there's a bit of a gap there. And I need to figure out A, how to save up more money so that my mortgage payment is lower. B, how to make more money so that I can pay off debt. So again, that's lower. And also so that my debt to income, branches, and I have a better candidate, and I would like to get that down to like 30%, especially if the market kind of goes the other way, it tanks, and banks are a lot tighter with their money. They're gonna be looking, they're gonna want that 30% number or better, So build the down payment, pay down the debt, and increase the monthly revenue. And the only way I can really see how to do that would be like to do a better job networking and promoting myself, which I don't really like to do, or figure out kind of the YouTube game and do more with it. So I have the other channel. I'm starting a third channel. I have a fourth channel, and it's like, if I could get to a point that right now it makes me about $500 a month between all the videos, all the stuff I upload, which almost all of that comes from the White Noise channel. This channel makes like $15 to, I think the most it's ever made was like $30 in a month. But I like doing it, so I'm gonna keep doing it. If I can figure that out, get to 1,000, and make enough income that I could take a month or two off and just go full speed at YouTube and not be stressed by anything else. I think I could get it up to speed to where, because like to pay for all the expenses I need, I don't know, 3,200 to 3,500, something like that, to pay for everything, to kind of maintain this lifestyle that I have. To, pay rent, pay bills, get food, have some money to go out, do things. It's probably about $3,500. So I think that's a doable number with with the YouTube game and with a couple of the side things. Also, there's like a truck outside. I don't know if you can hear it, but it's annoying me. Anyway, that's all I got today. So I hope you're doing well. And if not, well, I hope that turns around for you real soon. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Oh, the off button's on this side.